friends, welcome to the Learners channel. Today we will learn about the geo environment, or we may say that environmental geotechnique. We are going to learn four modules in this chapter. Let us begin with the module 1. In module 1 we learn two chapters. Chapter 1 is about introduction, scope, importance, waste generation, subsurface contamination, and chapter 2 is all about geosynthetics, types, manufacturing functions, applications, and economics. Let's begin with the chapter 1. Scope: any project that deals with the interrelationship among environment, ground surface and subsurface, soil, rock and groundwater falls under the purview of geo-environmental engineering. That means the project which interrelate between the environment, ground surface and subsurface, like what? Like soil, like rock and groundwater. These comes under geo-environmental technique. The scope of geo-environment is vast and requires the knowledge of different branches of engineering and science put together to solve the multidisciplinary problems. A geo-environmental engineer should work in an open domain of knowledge and should be willing to use any concepts of engineering and science to effectively solve the problem at hand. For example, let's assume that an underground pipe leakage may not be due to the faulty construction of the pipe but caused due to the highly corrosive soil surrounding it. The reason for high corrosiveness may be attributed to single or multiple man-made factors need to be clearly identified for the holistic solution of the problem. The conventional approach of assessing the material strength of the pipe alone will not solve the problem at hand. The realization of such projects require the contribution of environmentalists, remote sensing experts, decision makers, common public during its planning stage, hydrologists, geotechnical engineers for its execution stage, and several experts for management and monitoring of the project. A geoenvironmental engineer has a great role to play for deciding the scheme of such remediation practice. A lot of concepts from soil physics, soil chemistry, soil biology, multi-phase flow, material science, and mathematical modeling need to be taken for planning and execution of an efficient remediation strategy. Now we will learn what are the importance of soil physics, soil chemistry, hydrogeology and biological process. Let's begin with the soil physics. What is soil physics? Soil physics is the study of the physical properties and physical process occurring in soil and its relation to agriculture, engineering and environment. It deals with physical, physico-chemical and physico-biological relationship among solid, liquid and gaseous phase of soil as they are affected by temperature, pressure and other forms of energy. The concepts of soil physics is used for determining the transport of water, solute and heat, that is matter and energy, through porous media, which is important to solve the problems related to subsurface hydrology, groundwater pollution, water retention characteristics of soil, improving crop production, rainfall induced landslides, etc. The important soil physical properties include soil texture, which deals with the particle gradation, soil water, which include mechanisms such as retention, infiltration, runoff, permeation, evaporation, transpiration, irrigation, scheduling, etc. Soil aeration to take into account exchange of gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide by plant roots and microorganisms present in the soil. While defining these physical properties of soil, it is very important to consider representative elementary volume, that is REV, which is required to describe or lump the physical properties at a geometrical point. REV therefore describes mean property of the volume under consideration. Now we will learn soil chemistry. Soil chemistry is the study of chemical characteristics of the soil and is one of the important information required for many of the geo-environmental problems. The emergence of discipline soil chemistry began when J.T. Way, who is known as the father of soil chemistry, realized that soil could retain cations such as NH4 plus, K plus in exchange for equivalent amount of calcium plus 2 ions. This means that soils acts as an ion exchangers. This aspect is vital for using soil in waste management application. We may say that soil chemistry is all about the soil ion study. Okay, let's move forward. Understanding subsurface or geo-environmental problems requires extensive knowledge of hydrogeology. Hydrogeologic parameters influence a height on how a waste containment facility performs over its design life. Therefore, while deciding the location for such facility, it is important that the subsurface hydrogeology condition is fully explored and studied. Different in situ methodologies are used for remediation of a contaminated site. For effective functioning of such methods, one has to study the hydrogeological aspect of the site. Hydrogeologists play a vital role in locating groundwater aquifer, its management and optimal extraction. Sources and type of ground contamination. There are three sources of waste which are solid, liquid and gaseous wastes. Solid, liquid and gaseous wastes form contaminants subsurface and groundwater due to indiscriminate disposal. Solid wastes come from municipal, domestic and industrial sources. Municipal wastes amounts to around 50% of the total wastes produced. Household, hospital, agricultural waste forms part of municipal wastes. Returning these wastes to soil is considered to be a low-cost option. Abandoned e-waste, batteries, vehicles, furniture, debris from construction industry is considered as solid waste and is produced from both urban and rural areas. Liquid waste. Large scale industrial development produces huge quantities of hazardous waste, and the sources are iron and steel industries, packaging factories, paints, dyes, chemicals, glass factories, fertilizer and pesticide industries, mine excavation waste, etc. Coal mining, radioactive fuel mining, petroleum mining, and thermal power plants generate hazardous solid waste that requires effective management. The main source and type of hazardous liquid waste include industrial wastewater contained in surface impoundments, lagoons or pits, It is also produced from municipal solid refuse and sludge that are disposed on land. If not handled properly, sewage becomes an important source of liquid waste that has undesirable effect on environment. Petroleum exploration leaves waste brine solution which needs to be managed to prevent groundwater pollution. Liquid waste emerges due to mining operation which is hazardous. A typical example is acid mine. Drainage from dumped mine wastes. Some of the gaseous wastes include nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxides, sulfur dioxide, volatile hydrocarbons, etc. Chemical reaction may take place in air producing secondary pollutants like sulfur dioxide combines with oxygen to produce sulfur trioxide, which in turn combines with suspended water droplets to produce sulfuric acid and fall on ground as acid rain. Natural breakdown of uranium in the geo-environment emits cancer-causing radon gas into atmosphere. Let's study about the impact of contamination on geo-environment. In most of the cases, wastes are disposed of indiscriminately in low-lying areas without taking adequate engineering measures to effectively contain it. This results in a highly unhygienic and unhealthy environment, leading to breeding of pests, mosquitoes, and several harmful microorganisms. Many of the emerging diseases found these days are direct impact of geo-environmental contamination due to wastes. During precipitation or groundwater coming in contact with these wastes generates contaminated water called leachate that can travel far field and pollute the surface and groundwater resources. Many of the harmful heavy metals can also travel along with the leachate. If it is not contained properly, some of the solid waste such as excavation and mining waste fly as either it is wet and dry. From thermal power plants requires large area of land for its storage as wastes. This in turn would interact with rainwater and can cause contamination. Several harmful heavy metals, well above the contamination limit, can enter the life cycle of organisms living in close proximity with such disposal sites. One of the complexities of contamination impact is its long-term effects without a chance for realization. Most of the impacts are realized much later from rigorous studies, and by the time the damage would have been done. Hence, remediation becomes a tedious and cost intensive affair. This makes geoenvironmental engineering a challenging and much needed subject. There is a need to focus on research that would help to predict and minimize the long-term impact of indiscriminate and mismanaged waste contamination. We will continue learning of the remaining topics in upcoming videos. If you gain some knowledge, then like it and hit the subscribe icon. Thank you.